Good to go.
Okay. So, final questions, comments, concerns before we get started.
What did I miss?
We'll find out.
How big is the Promethean population?
You missed dam surfing.
Oh, like is it like the 100 as always, or is it like smaller?
Look,
Did you ask what'd you say, sorry?
Oh, like how big is the Promethean population? Like, is it the world big enough to have like multiple Prometheans, or is it just
Yeah,
me?
there's multiple Prometheans out there.
we don't know where they are though. Also, there's probably multiple deviants too. Actually, there's definitely multiple deviants because devoted are going to exist, aren't they? Oh, that's going to be a problem. Anyway, besides, trying to think. Besides, Chiron's probably also setting up, considering they're standing 3 in this world. You know, that's going to be a problem. But you know,
A lot of problems. But if there's no questions, we'll pick up with our resident mage and deviant. So, you guys had just recently well, admittedly, it was Kalmir that had wandered into the city and stumbled upon Cherry and Rose. I gotta ask, Kalmir, did you bring Dog with you?
Of course. Dog always comes.
I figured as much.
Dog is a large wolf, by the way.
Cherry's not going to question that. Rose might, but
Dog eating the wolf. But yeah, so you guys were standing, from what I am vaguely remembering, even though I probably should have wrote down what you guys ended with, or gone back and checked on the VOD, but you guys were basically just talking, trying to figure out what was going on with the werewolves, correct?
Cherry was following a group of maybe hunters. That's when Kalmir stumbled upon them.
Yes.
yes.
But they had gotten out of sight at that point, presumably losing the trail of the wolf.
Yes.
So, Kalmir, it's at this point, you look down at Dog, and he's noticeably kind of like getting kind of low to the ground, like your wolf smells something clearly and is hesitantly looking down the street.
Oh. Do I see anything down the street or not yet?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Bop. 2 successes.
So, it's a pretty odd sight. You know, normally these two colors don't really exist in the wild, so you're not really sure what you're looking at, but there appears to be like almost flashing red and blue down the street in the distance.
Did I learn Cherry's name yet?
I think she introduced. I'm not sure. She wouldn't say her. She probably wouldn't have said her name if Rose didn't tell you.
Okay. Hey, I see lights down in the distance. What are those? Why are they those?
Rose would look at the lights. Does she see them?
Yeah, I mean they're not hard to see as they are getting closer.
That appears
my
to be
spear.
That appears to be probably an emergency services vehicle, given the colors. Sorry, I need to speak in monotone. Oh, no. That would be, I would guess, emergency services vehicle. All red and blue are common colors for them. It is probably best if we stand out of the way. Do not raise your weapon. Please.
I'm going to stand out of the way, but still keep my weapon at the ready. Come this way, Dog, we'll hide.
Rose would... Cherry would look to Rose, and
is it screaming, by the way?
It's getting louder, yes. You can start to hear it by now. They don't appear
noise.
to be loud for some reason.
That is a siren.
Why does it make such a loud, irritating noise?
The intention of sirens is to alert those present of the presence of the emergency vehicle so they can get out of the way.
Well, it's working. I want to get out of the way. I'm moving out of the way. It's too loud.
So, it's a car. It's a police car. I can't constantly, talking weird, like, very.
Rose knows.
Moving down the street.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cherry knows.
Yeah.
Rose would also know, but Cherry.
Kalmir is probably confused.
I mix up their names a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
God.
But the police car comes barreling down the street and is almost intercepted by another police car, basically immediately just drifting around the corner. In front of the other car that just drifted through is yet another Wolfman in full sprint. There's a lot of sirens at this point. They're kind of closing in from all angles, it seems. You don't see all the cars, but you can definitely hear them coming from multiple directions.
Why are they chasing that werewolf?
I am unsure. Or either they could be the type of hunters. There are multiple general types of hunters. These could be the type. Sorry. These could be the type that indiscriminately hunt monsters, or such as the long night, or alternatively they could be more reactive hunters, such as the Union. It depends on their nature, and what these werewolves were doing. I am unsure what is currently happening.
Where are they going now? The werewolf and cars.
Down the street towards you.
It is best to get out of the way. Cherry would probably get out of the way with Rose.
Yeah. So, at this point, another car comes swerving around the corner down the street from you, sort of on an intercept path at an intersection. It parks in the middle of the intersection, and multiple armed individuals step out. They appear mostly just your standard city police officers, nothing super special. They pull out handguns, admittedly. The werewolf and the other cars seem not to care and continue speeding down the street. When the cars stop, werewolf does not, but all the other cars just stop. They don't slam on their brakes. They just stop. No momentum. The momentum's just gone. The officers that stepped out of their vehicle also appear to almost be frozen. They're completely still.
That's odd.
The werewolf kind of continues to run and attempts to leap this car, only to slam his legs into the roof of the car because he missed the jump. And kind of does a little tumble, over one of the officers who doesn't stand back up and is still kind of,
frozen,
pistol drawn forward, but now on his back.
Jerry's staring at this. I am unsure. I wish to help people, but I am unsure who is the aggressor here.
Well, it looks like they were chasing the werewolf, so I would say the werewolf is not the aggressor this time.
Likely.
I'm gonna go down there and have a look.
Chair will also look over to Rose. Small question. And she's talking to Rose. Rose, are you experiencing symptoms of? Are you experiencing symptoms of lunacy at this point?
That's a good point. I should probably roll for that because she is more.
Yes, she is mortal and has integrity. She probably has good integrity, but that's up to you.
I don't know what the roll is. I'm pulling up the werewolf book. Hold on.
I'm sorry that I'm forcing you to consider this.
No, this was mentioned last time, and I said, yeah, no. It's just they haven't affected anyone in the party because it's.
None of us have integrity.
Yeah,
also,
and then
for everyone confused, why people are moved around awkwardly, it's because Stahl accidentally clicked the wrong button and didn't turn back on his camera, so two people are switched around. And Stahl doesn't have his camera on.
Was switched around.
Yes. I just figured I should explain to the people who might be watching.
Breaking point. What is the breaking point roll? Is it integrity composure or something like that?
I'm not sure.
I haven't played Mortal. I don't actually know what an integrity breaking point roll is.
Hold on, I can find it. It's in most books. We'll have to check. Integrity. Resolve plus composure.
It doesn't affect anything.
They also get bonus dice depending on their amount of integrity currently. 8 to 10 is +2, 7 to 6 is +1, 3 to 2 is -1, and 1 is -2.
Math.
The great equalizer, math.
You can give her an amount of dice that seems reasonable.
No lunacy here.
Okay.
She's still holding composure here. Little concerned about everything being frozen, of course. In addition, Kalmir, have you looked at Dog recently?
Since he started getting low?
Yeah. He's also frozen. He has not moved.
I'm guessing Rose is still fine.
Quiet. Dog. What's wrong, dog?
Your dog appears to have frozen in time. Is this something that I could reasonably guess what's happening with a roll or something, or is it just weird right now?
Probably not, because you have no idea what's going on in the background. I guess.
Yes. So it's just everything's frozen. There's probably no way I could guess this. It's like
not really.
Time manipulation is something that can be many things.
Make some guesses, like, but I'm not telling you if any of them are correct.
What? It could be warped time, or it could be a time mage, honestly, but that seems unlikely.
I have no experience with the time arcanums. If this is, I'm gonna look mage sight with prime. Is there magic?
Are you saying that out loud?
He's muttering.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he's not.
Show you. Anything you can use as yantra. The presence of any awakened spell or attainment or effect. There is no spell.
No spell, but why is he frozen? I'm gonna touch him. Is he still soft and furry?
The dog, yes.
This seems odd.
Is he breathing? Put my mouth in front of his. My nose.
Nope.
My hand in front of his mouth.
There's no breath.
No breath.
Many possible things could be causing this situation.
So, after a few moments of time essentially stopping, you hear the creaking of a door on the other side of the street.
Look.
I know what it is out of character now, but Cherry would not be able to figure this with her knowledge. It's because there's many things that could be causing this, but I know what's happening.
So, okay, I don't know, because I'm not sure I've really given a whole lot away here, but
I think I do.
But yes, the door creaks open. It appears to have been like an apartment complex, admittedly, just a front door to an apartment building. Walking out of the door, almost perfectly, perfect posture and everything, is somewhat of an elderly man who just kind of walks down the steps, looking at you two, and is like, well, you folks might want to leave before things get ugly. He kind of gestures to a nearby alleyway. We've done some work. Head through there, second left, and you'll be out of here. Judging by my guesses, you've probably got about 4 minutes.
Who would you be?
What is a minute?
A minute is a unit of time. I'm consisting of 60 seconds. Hence there are 60 minutes in an hour and 24 hours in a day. A day is the time it takes for the Earth to rotate around its axis, or probably in your perspective from one morning to another.
I'm going to pick up dog and start leaving in the direction he said.
She's also going to leave as soon as possible, probably, unless Rose is doing something, but...
I mean, Rose is just as confused. And...
Yeah, it is probably best to listen to him.
Yeah.
She's saying this uncertainly, like, she's not used to this, but, like, lots of things are happening.
You said down which way?
Down the alley, second left. Remember, second left. First left isn't going to take you anywhere. At least, nowhere you want to be.
Okay.
I think I know what this is.
Does he look strange to me?
Give me a,
Well...
Give me a perception.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
He's gonna do something. He's gonna do something when you look at him.
Oh, I don't succeed.
I mean, apart from the strange clothing, but you've seen a lot of people with weird clothing. He seems like an old man. I mean, you didn't have a lot of elders in the village, you know. People didn't really live to his age. He's roughly in his 70s, it looks like.
Oof.
Does it look like he has a soul?
You would basically just.
Yeah,
I think you would always see souls as a Tremere, but no,
Yes.
there's no soul.
Okay.
Another soulless.
Well, I suppose having a soul. I suppose not having a soul doesn't mark him as not human. So, okay. Out of character, I believe what's happening is that's a demon, but you know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my mind open. Going down the alleyway.
Yeah, she's
Dog in hands, he is hurrying down the alley.
Yeah, we're also hurrying down the alley because Cherry's like, I want. Cherry would probably be more willing to hurt herself if Rose wasn't here, and she wants Rose to be safe. And she's trying to get away from this mess.
So, turning the corner of this alley, what you would expect is more alley. It opens into woodland.
Ah, finally, something I know.
Yeah, emerging out of the alley, it appears that you're in what is just a temperate forest, almost, with just these two buildings randomly placed in the middle of it. There's no road here.
Is this?
In addition, if you turn around, the alley is not back where you left it. There is just a wall, just a pure white wall, where the turn of the alley should have been.
When it touched the wall,
It is cold. But it doesn't feel like a material you've ever felt before. You look at it and you think this is stone, but it seems almost too smooth to be stone. But it's just as cold as stone.
hit it.
Well,
We just came through here. Why?
is this polished? She's like,
In addition, you would have basically, as soon as you guys turn the corner into these woods, dog kind of poofs back into moving again. Kind
Oh,
of confused why he's being carried, but you know.
stuff happened, dog. I'll set him down. We're in a new spot again.
I'm gonna.
So easy to get lost in these places.
Many things could be causing this, as though, based on the series of things that just happened, I would guess that this has something to do with God Machine, though I am uncertain what just happened.
Not familiar with the machine god. I know the wolf god and the fox god and the snake god. What is a machine god?
That is a. Well,
Something he doesn't
the
know.
guy. Cherry knows this. It's just like, where does she begin?
What is
I'm
the
gonna-
machine god? Yes.
The God Machine is a series of processes in the universe.
Head toward the buildings, by
that
the way.
You're standing in between the buildings.
Oh, we're in between the buildings. Oh, I see.
Yes, the alley, you know.
I thought we went into a forest and then there were two buildings.
No, you
I
kind of.
misheard.
Sorry. Yeah. It opens up into a forest, and in the only thing in this forest that you can see clearly is the two buildings that made the alley that you came out of.
Gotcha.
The God Machine is loosely a series of eldritch creations that it made itself, that is non-temporal and can do many things beyond modern science, nor most knowledge of the capabilities of magic. Though,
Oh, it's a god of magic. I'm gonna head out into the forest.
by some definitions, I would.
As this conversation does happen, though, it is quite rudely interrupted by thunder. And not the strange thunder you heard at the farm, Kalmir. This is actual thunder.
Oh, real thunder.
But just a single thunder. A single thunder? Singular? I don't
One
know.
boom.
One, yes. There's only one thunder noise.
I'm guessing it is not raining.
No.
That is
However, it is shortly followed up by a couple of smaller thunderous noises. To Kalmir, Cherry and Rose recognize them as gunshots.
that it is given that thunder just cracked. It is likely that there is some form of supernatural being in combat.
You've not heard thunder where you're from?
It does not typically thunder while it is not raining, nor is it particularly cloudy. Hey, Cherry will look over. She would look over to Rose. Should we follow the source of the thunder?
I mean, Rose kind of shrugs and is like, got anything else better to follow at this point?
Well, if there's another Stormbringer nearby, I'd like to go and see.
Another? I'm not aware of any werewolves capable of summoning thunder.
You're not? I've seen it once or twice.
Can they? Out of character.
They have the gift of weather. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
they
then she
can.
wouldn't. Then she wouldn't say that. She would say, "I believe that werewolf." She would say then, and another. Do you know any capable of summoning thunder?
Oh, I would assume most villages would have a Stormbringer for their crops.
Cherry processing. Hey, I need to roll something from that. Hold on, I need to roll something from that. What should I roll? What would that even be?
What is it you're trying to
Yeah, what
do?
are you trying to comprehend?
She's trying to comprehend what exactly he means by Stormbringer, and seeing if what the magic knowledge that she has in her brain has an answer.
I mean,
would that be an academics roll?
It'd be intelligence something.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Guess academics, because it could be like anthropology, to know that was kind of a thing that a lot of early tribes considered and had.
Yeah.
Was like brain dances and shit. So I guess
Okay.
intelligence academics, if you want to roll for it.
Okay. But you'd understand the concept of rain dancers is just like directly bringing down thunder is something weird. So that's gonna be a route die, and we're going to add 3 from that, and then 4 from that. So
All the dice.
Spencer, good night. You are on dishes.
Sorry. Hold on. Okay, so submit. Yeah.
Your rolls, man.
This is look, intelligence plus some mental thing is what Cherry is definitively very good at. Cherry, given Cherry learns knowledge that she should not have. Given the nature of thing, are you Would you happen to be would you happen to be the Stormbringer of your tribe?
Or our village, yes. I bring rain. He pulls out he's got a little rain stick that turns it over and it makes that rain sound.
Cherry, processing. I believe what can you see things that other people cannot see?
Such as?
It depends. Cherry is walking and talking. By the way, hey,
What's in this forest?
Cherry thinking.
After
Sorry.
At this point, you've been talking for a little bit, walking for a little bit. The forest kind of opens up, and you are looking more at what appears to be a lake. One end of it is, well, Kalmir sees a lot of almost a large stone wall. The other two recognize it as concrete, and it's a dam. There is a van parked at the top of it. Yes, I'm putting the party together.
Via fucking weird demon magic, but
Don't worry about it.
That's his prerogative.
Cherry. We appear to be near a dam. It would likely be best to go near. Would you say that it is best when you bring storms to do it out of the general view?
Yes, because it's sacred. It's a sacred rite. So normal people are not allowed to witness it.
Processing. I believe I have a guess what that means there. However, I cannot be certain, as the knowledge I have, I do not believe I learned anywhere. Odd.
So, at this point, though, I am going to jump back to the other three, just so they can do something.
Sorry, you get to deal with Cherry being a book that knows things.
Yeah. So, picking back up where the other three left off, Drew is facing down a werewolf, slowly standing up. An arm falling out of its mouth at this point. Stahl is kind of brushing probably the blood and dust off his fists after beating a hunter to death. And Vitus is finishing his meal. So at this point, who is doing what?
Well, Vitus is actually going to lower the body that he's finished completely draining on the ground and kind of use the back of his hand to wipe the blood from his mouth and, adjust his suit. He removes like a handkerchief from his inside pocket and then begins to wipe the back of his hand and clean up the rest of his face. Productive evening, I suppose.
Well,
So
finally caught up to the
ahead.
werewolf we were searching for.
Speaking of that, Vitus is, despite him doing all of this, his eyes still have not left the werewolf. He's very, very leery of it.
Yeah.
So Drew's gonna look at the wolf and be like, where were you trying to go? You ran right through their camp.
werewolf, of course, cannot reply other than turning around and looking back up the dam as it sort of slowly tries to re-climb back up.
So Drew's gonna look to the ghost if it's still there.
Yeah, the ghost is still there, and it after it sees that you're now acknowledging its existence, it's not really too sure what its existence is, but it's being acknowledged, so it does sort of, reply that there was a calling for us, the loud calling. I don't hear it anymore, though.
A loud
I can
call.
focus.
Well, it appears, and so Drew looks to the rest of them, it appears that there's something important to the wolves happening up that way, as he points to the dam. And for anyone who can't see ghosts, it's kind of unclear where he got that information, but he did look to an empty space. So maybe he was just looking somewhere, but...
So, wait, just to be clear here. You're not hunting them, and I just point to this silver harpoon that's probably still bloody.
Oh, this? No, this killed one of them, and
yes, I can see that. Why do you have it?
I took a guess that the one that was killed by it would be anchored to it, and I was right. So I'm holding on to it to keep the spirit with me.
And like I look around, I just don't see anything. Like, you okay there?
I have a silly question.
Oh,
How messy of an eater is Vitus? I'm just curious.
Vitus is actually going to kind of just nod at Drew. While he's not able to see ghosts, I would assume with his practices that he does in his spare time, it's not a foreign concept to him.
Yeah, you mess around with bodies enough to know that ghosts are a real thing.
Yeah, so he kind of just shrugs. Also, I do want to, or Vitus does want to take note of how far the night has progressed, because he does realize we are fairly far outside of the city at this point.
Yeah, it looks like you're roughly about halfway through the night, but you have spent a lot of the night basically just on a goose chase. This wolf, although it's been trying to run in almost a straight path, you can't really do that in a city. And it's taken some odd turns, essentially. It'd be a lot quicker to get back than it was to get here.
All right. You can kind of see Vitus shift somewhat uncomfortably, realizing how far into the night it is. And he goes, well, it won't take us as long to get back, but I will need to start thinking about doing so relatively soon, so I might need to get one of my children here to continue this little investigation. He's kind of speaking more to himself, but he is speaking loud enough for everybody else to hear him.
Okay, out of character. So do I know your children? Or?
You would have definitely worked with... Yeah, you would have definitely worked with them, especially during the day, since they're my agents during the day.
Alright. Okay, another question. Are they worse than you? Or...
They're politicians' children, so I'll just leave you with that. One of them's very militaristic, while the other one is very much more of a science-y type nerd.
I mean, politicians' children are better than politicians.
I don't know.
Depends.
maybe.
Do you know who my dad is?
Look, neither of them are lined up to be politicians, so I think that makes them at least slightly better.
No, they're Clan Giovanni, right?
True enough, yeah.
They're ghouls, yeah, so.
They're just politicians in training.
Yeah, so as for the other two, you guys do eventually walk up almost to the edge of the dam, and almost as you're walking up there, you know, no, almost to the edge, you see the furry head of a wolf man kind of poke over the edge of the dam and claw its way up.
That is a... It is odd that there is another werewolf here. I have a question. Are you aware of the... She looks over to the... What's his name again?
Kalmir.
She looks over to Elmir. Are you aware of the nature of lunacy?
Lunacy.
You might not know that term.
As in going crazy? Insanity?
The effect that werewolves have where if you see them in more unnatural forms they provide damage to the mental state beyond that which is normally possible and inspire one to forget.
That's not been my experience, but then again, they're usually in the border marshes hunting whatever shouldn't be there. They don't usually come into the villages looking like that.
That makes sense. And Cherry now has a solid theory on the fact that Almir is a mage. She doesn't know that fact. She doesn't know it for a fact, but she thinks it.
It's a theory.
Yeah.
As
Anyway,
for everyone in the bottom of the dam, the werewolf has reached the top at this point. Like, it's not hard to miss it slowly lumbering up the side of the dam. Bits of concrete falling as it climbs.
Should we attempt to communicate with the werewolf?
Again, when they look like that, they don't. They're not prone to talking when they look like that.
That is true. That is murder. That form is mostly intended to kill things.
So, I don't know what it's hunting, but I don't want to be in front of it.
That is true. We should likely run.
I don't believe they're hunting.
Elmer doesn't know that.
The thing is, if they're in that form, that is the killing form, and both of them know that.
But Drew, a little bit ago, said they were called.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, technically, you are at the bottom of the dam unless you've climbed up the
yes. We don't know that. Yeah. We see a werewolf in killing form.
Yeah, the two of us are on top of the dam, right?
Yes, and everybody else is at the bottom unless they've climbed up.
I was mistaken.
I'm gonna kind of look at Drew and go, "Are you gonna follow it up? You were following it for a long while."
And so he thinks for a second, and then he looks to the side where the ghost is at, and he's going to verbalize, like, "What do you need? Do you need to go somewhere? Like, how can I help?"
The ghost, admittedly, it shrugs, and it's, I don't know what I am now or what I need. Not.
Well,
the ghost doesn't really know
that. You're dead, but I can take you back to your people, or like, should I be following your family here, or what? What do you?
The ghost is kind of thinking, like, I could follow myself, I suppose.
That might be dangerous for you. If you want to follow them, I'll follow.
And the ghost sort of looks up the dam and is like, I don't know if I want to go to wherever we were being called, though. It was deafening. And although I can't hear it, well, I don't want to hear it again by going there.
Very interesting. Very well. So Drew, after having, his discussion with this invisible being, looks back at the vampire and he says, I think I'm done following him for now, but I may end up following at another time to see what's going on, but not now.
Cherry is currently and do you guys want to go? Does anyone else want to go? I'm sorry, I'm guessing this is just sort of popcorning around now. Okay.
If there's a conversation going on at the bottom, the people at the top could probably hear it, and likewise.
Well, it's not a very tall dam.
Well, it is relatively tall, but it is also kind of an echoey canyon almost.
Mm.
Like
it's also kind of quiet. It is the middle of the night.
There appears to be people at the bottom side of the dam. I am unsure how they relate to the werewolf in killing form. It is likely we should run from the werewolf. It does not appear focused on us.
Well, if it's not focused on us, then we don't need to run.
That is true, however, we should get out of the way.
Well, yes, I am already out of the way.
They stay out of the way of the werewolf as it runs past them, I suppose.
Yeah, the werewolf, it climbs to the top and it continues its run.
Cherry, I suppose, will attempt to follow the voices that are down there, I suppose. Generally confused, unless Rose. I'm guessing Rose is just confused at this point.
She's got no better guess than you do, really. I mean,
so Vitus is actually going to walk up to Stahl and hand him another handkerchief from his inside pocket and be like, "Clean yourself up, please. You took a few little potholes there."
I just take how big is the handkerchief? I just stare at it and just
It's so
I don't know, stuff it in one of the holes. I don't know.
Cherry will move. Cherry is moving. I guess Cherry and Rose are moving down. They look at it. Is what names are so hard? Oh my god.
Kalmir with a K.
Almer.
but yes.
Kalmir. Yes. I'm sorry. Is Almer also falling down?
He's looking down.
I mean, looking down, you see there are 3 people standing down there. 4.
Do any of them look?
2
4 body.
2 clear bodies, 2 piles of what was probably a body.
That. They are being very casual for being in the for being surrounded by corpses.
Say we do kind of look like dangerous people.
Do you still believe it is? Do you still believe it is best to follow them? It is best to talk to them. She looks over to Rose, I guess, and also Almir.
Well, this is the direction the werewolf came from. Maybe they know some information.
That is true. However, they're being very casual around several bodies.
You are.
Do I recognize the bodies as being like the hunt, generally looking like the hunters? I guess.
the bodies, there are rifles thrown around the floor, the dirt essentially, but they weren't the hunters you were following.
Okay. Yeah.
These people, even more casual dress. No unifying theme, admittedly.
None of them appear to be wielding the rifles on the floor, so it is likely that the hunters were aggressing. If I may assume they are hunters. I admit,
Hunters are always hunting. That's how they get food.
I'm referring to a different type of hunter. Hunter in this vernacular is referring to one who in this case hunts the supernatural in some form or another, or in this case intending to kill them. They're generally hunter groups either hunt the supernatural indiscriminately or focus on one or another or type of supernatural. For instance, obviously in this case werewolves, vampires, or in some cases mages or stranger things.
You said the people at the bottom can hear anything that the people up at the top say as well, right?
You can hear them talking. Maybe you can't make out the finer details of the conversation, but you can hear people talking up there, and looking up, you probably see 3 people standing over the ledge looking down at you, wondering what's going on.
You can roll perception, I guess, if you want to hear what she's saying. It's not like she's being subtle about it.
No.
Shoot down these people too.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who happens to look up can see them.
Vitus kind of raises his hand and goes, no, you don't need to, I don't think we need to shoot those people at this time. I do want to know what the hell they're doing, though. And
Drew, you definitely noticed they weren't up there when you were up there a little bit ago. If they were hiding in the back of the van in boxes, and that seems unlikely.
Vitus is actually going to start making his way up towards the ladder.
He appears to be coming up here. It appears the one in the fine dress. How are each of these people dressed and look, by the way? I just want a general description.
For lack of a better term, Roman Italian suit. Exquisitely made. Silk.
So very, very finely tailored suit, okay. What about the other two?
I'm gonna retcon my previous statement. He's pretty tall, pretty buff. Wears kind of like, I'd say somewhat like office attire, kind of, since he's working for, a posh vampire. I imagine he'd probably have to dress the part. But it's clear he doesn't take care of it.
Okay. And the Sin Eater?
Drew has no hair on top of his head, and he's wearing gray, like, kind of loose-fitting, flowy clothes. They're not fancy. They're very basic, in the sense that it's kind of like a robe, but it's got legs. Like it's bifurcated for his legs. Yeah.
Cherry is like a relatively small girl, I guess, and Rose, I think I showed a face claim for Rose because I just chose a stock image.
I should add, I keep forgetting, there is on Drew's back what would you could interpret as like a two-handed sword, except it's like completely wrapped up in cloth as well. So it looks pretty clear like he's doesn't intend to use it, like it's not in a scabbard ready to be drawn. The whole thing is wrapped up in cloth.
Okay. It is. Well, I do not believe they are hostile, though it may be best to wait and see.
But he is still holding a silver, gory harpoon.
The werewolf
Dang.
came from this direction. There are bodies down there, and one of them holds the wolf killer.
That is true. However, the werewolf. What wounds did the werewolf have, actually?
The werewolf looked pretty,
Fucked up.
yeah, you understand that in Garu form, they're pretty hard to kill, but this one was carrying around some severe injuries at this point. It's been through a fight.
It
And-
was like. Mhm. Yeah, it was likely through a fight, and likely their healing factor was somehow reduced, probably, from what I saw.
Yeah, it's either its innate healing has either been reduced or it's been hit with its banes.